Today's video is going to dive into what happens in Google's phone round interview. For context, Google's experimenting with how they conduct their interview loops, both in their phone screen and in the on-site. By the end of this video, you should have a pretty good idea of the new process, what the interviewers filter for, and a bunch of tips around how to prepare yourself for this. Today's video is going to dive into what happens in Google's phone round interview. For context, Google's experimenting with how they conduct their interview loops, both in their phone screen and in the on-site. By the end of this video, you should have a pretty good idea of the new process, what interviewers are filtering for, and a bunch of tips around how to prepare yourself for this. Just so you know, I'm not talking through my hat. I'm Nikita, I'm from Prepfully. We offer anonymous mock interviews with someone who has worked in your target role and company. So in this context, we've got a lot of Google EMs and staff engineers who help candidates with mocks and advice, and who've helped us put together relevant content, this video being an example of it. So onto the phone screen. This is step 2 in the software engineer interview journey at Google and comes right after you pass the recruiter screen. Let's discuss the format first, since this is something that changed very recently. Historically, this used to be a single technical interview. You got a coding question or two, and that was about it. Now, your first round could actually consist of 2 separate interviews. One data structures and algorithms, which is DSA, and one behavioral interview. Your interviewer is trying to get a high-level assessment of your skills to ensure you're ready for the rigorous on-site loop that comes next. Let's break down the 2 sections. The first section is the technical coding portion. For this, be prepared to answer relatively standard coding questions in a language of your choice. You will typically be asked an open-ended question, and your interviewer is assessing your ability to clarify the problem, define requirements, convert your algorithm into workable code, and then optimize it while also catching bugs or edge cases. No real surprises there. The second section is behavioral. If you get this new format, the interviewer will try to understand how well you align with Google's culture, which is often referred to as Googliness. They will assess how you navigate ambiguity, how you work within a team, and your motivation for the role. So it becomes super important to bring forward your behavioral interview prep early in the process now. I've got 4 tips for cracking this phone round. First, clarify the scope. Because the technical questions will be deliberately open-ended, you're expected to ask intelligent questions, which help you narrow the focus down to something reasonable. Before jumping into solution mode, explicitly state your assumptions to ensure you fully understand the requirements. Second, think out loud. Google interviewers want to understand how you think because this thought process is what they're going to base their filtering decision on, especially in a world where AI is available as a shortcut in most things. A second benefit of this is that it lets your interviewer course-correct you if you're going down the wrong tangent or a line of thinking they aren't interested in. Third, be extremely succinct, especially the behavioral interview. You need to cover a lot of ground in this interview, so you don't want to let just one topic hijack the whole conversation. To do this, structure your stories using the STAR+ format. Cover the standard situation, task, action, result, but add a plus something at the end to differentiate yourself from the hordes of people using basic STAR. This plus could be a reflection on what you learned, or how you shared those learnings with your team, or a scalable process you built as a result of the experience, anything that helps you stand apart and be remembered by your interviewer. Finally, practice. It's easier than ever to apply for jobs, it's easier than ever to get a referral, so every round is ridiculously competitive now. Practice with AI tools. Practice saying your answers aloud while you type. Practice in the mirror. Practice writing code without a compiler or an IDE. And if you're genuinely serious about this, practice getting curveballs thrown at you. Ask your friends or family to ask you follow-up questions so that you get used to the discomfort of an interview going down a random trajectory that you need to pivot out of. And the highest ROI of all, book some time with an EM or a senior engineer who has actually worked at Google, knows the interview process and the rubrics, and can tell you where you're missing the bar. Get this feedback before your live round. Don't wait till the last minute because, trust us, it takes time to modify stories and incorporate feedback. And you will want that time once you know exactly what you're getting wrong. So that's all for me. This is our guidance from Prepfully on how to rock the Google Software Engineer phone round. Once you feel ready for some practice or just want a sense check of your preparation level, you can book an anonymous mock interview with a Google SWE or an EM on Prepfully. There's a link in the description below.